Hello everyone! I'm here with another haul video. I promise that this is not going to be my entire channel. It does seem like it's a large part of my channel right now, but I promise it's not going to be my entire channel from now on. I promise. Today's haul is for Black Friday / Christmas. So I kind of splurged on the Crunchyroll Black Friday sale. I haven't Cyber Monday hasn't happened at this point, and I'm unsure if I'm going to buy anything from their sale or not. They have a pretty good sale going on. Just don't know if they're going to have books that I want, because there's a lot out of stock right now because of the Black Friday sale. And I also don't know if I want to spend that much money after spending this much money. So, yeah. Even though I didn't pay for the majority of this, but at the same time, it's like, I kind of did. Okay, so first off, jumping right into this, I'm going to do the large stack of Danmei that I have ordered, and just because I don't know a whole lot about these series in particular, this first one I kind of do case file compendium. That word trips me up every time. But this is volume 2 and volume 3 of this series. I mentioned in my last haul video that I was going to continue this series, and I think there's a 4th volume, but I don't know if it's been released yet, and that may be the last volume of the series. I don't know. But I'm really interested to see where this story goes, both in like the murder aspect and in the romantic aspect. I'm going to be completely honest, this series as a whole, I was not expecting so much death, and I was not expecting so much homophobia. That I was expecting the opposite of homophobia, to be honest, because it's a Danmei, but like, I really can't get into it, but it's just like everything that is happening is very slow burn, I guess. It's very slow burn, and I am also very anxious about the main character's orphan disease. Like, he's young right now, but I don't think it ever tells us the average age of someone dying with this disease. So I'm just very nervous for these two, and I hope it has a happy ending. I really, really hope it has a happy ending. Then, let's see, I have Remnants of Filth, which is by the same author of Case File Compendium. Here's volume 1. Ow. Volume 1. Volume 2. These are pretty covers. Volume 3. And volume 4. I'm going to be completely honest, I bought these mainly because Case File Compendium wasn't like the total train wreck I thought it was going to be, because that was my first ever Danmei, fun fact. So when I saw this author had more series, I kind of really just wanted to snatch them up and read them. And I'm pretty sure this is the complete series. Remnants of Filth is only 4 volumes, I believe. And I bought another series by that same author, and that is The Husky and His White Cat Shizune, which is 6 volumes. I don't know if this is all of it or not, but I'll go in reverse order. Here's volume 6, volume 5. I like these covers more. Volume 4, volume 3, which I think is my favorite cover. Volume 2, which is a chunky boy. And then volume 1. I know nothing about actually Remnants of Filth or The Husky and His White Cat. The Husky and His White Cat I mainly wanted because of the title. I love huskies, and usually when cats are involved, it's like in a neko sense, so I don't know if either of those things are involved, but I have hopes that it's involved. I don't know, it seems like the art for this series and for Remnants of Filth are better than Case File Compendium. Case File Compendium is just, let me see if I can find a good picture. They have less like defining lines, it seems. It's more, they feel like more like rough sketches and not finished product. So, I just saw something I wish I hadn't seen. So, I don't know like why that is. Maybe if it's a tonal shift. They match the art with the tone of the story. If that's the case, I'm really gonna like that. And the last Danmei I have is Heaven's Official Blessing Volume 2. I mainly picked this up even though I haven't read the first volume. It's highly recommended by a family member, a distant family member. But it's also one of the series that I hear people talking about most frequently. It also has an anime adaptation, which I do want to watch. And I'm gonna be completely honest, I got this at a really cheap price. It was like $11.99 when they're normally like $20. So I was like, I'm gonna pick up at least volume 2. Like, you can't stop me. I can't stop myself. I'm gonna move all of these over here. I will say right now, Danmei are very heavy. I feel like I am lifting 10 pounds worth of books in just 4. Now, moving on to the manga. Let's just start here. First, I got Yu Yu Hakusho Volume 14. This is the last volume I needed, and now I have the complete series, and I'm so happy about that. I love Yu Yu Hakusho so much. It's like my favorite anime. Sorry about that little whatever that accent was trying to morph into. I think it is like my favorite anime, like, of all time. It's like a 10 out of 10 for me. I love it. It has one of the best tournament arcs, and I can't wait to read about that tournament arc in here. I cannot wait to read this series, and I may do like a vlog video of me reading this entire series, because I don't know how loyal of an adaptation this is, because not enough people talk about the anime or the manga. They just don't. You don't hear people... If you hear anybody talking about Yu Yu Hakusho, it's usually the tournament arc, and it's usually only in the sense of the anime. They don't really talk much about the manga. So I am like very excited to dive into this, and I really hope it has a loyal adaptation, but it also has like a few like hidden things in it that you can only get in the manga. So very excited about that. Next, I have Black or White Volume 8. This is a more mature yaoi series, and I'm going to be completely honest, I read so much yaoi that I can't remember what this series is about. I do need to start this series soon, I just don't know how long it is, and I kind of am not in the mood for this right now. I'm more in the mood for like younger audience, kind of, well, actually I can't say younger audience. I'm more looking for something right now that is... has younger main characters. There we go. Next I have Acid Town Volume 6. I thought I had this, but it turns out I didn't, so I snatched it up while I was in stock. This, I believe, is also a Mafia series. I didn't know I liked Mafia series so much, but I guess after reading Viewfinder, it's kind of opened my world, and I've kind of just loved that genre, I guess. I don't know. I got Chainsaw Man Volumes 4 through 8. I was gonna buy the box set of the first 11 volumes, then I realized that it only goes to volume 11 and it's not a finished series, so there is a volume 12 and 13 and stuff like that. And then I also have the first 3 volumes already, and when I did the math on it, I was spending $3 more to buy the box set and have the first 3 volumes again. Was it $3? It may have been $10. It was one of those two. I did a lot of math on trying to figure out how to like min-max my purchase amounts and everything. It's like, Anyways, it was just cheaper to buy it like this and less of a headache, because then I didn't have 3 repeating volumes. It's a series that I've heard nothing but great things about, but it's also one of those series where I really don't like the character design, and a lot of the art style just isn't for me. So it's not my favorite. There's just not enough background details, and the characters are just kind of iffy for me. I have heard way too many people say that this is a fantastic manga way too many times for me not to pick it up and try it. And, you know, maybe I bought too much of it. Maybe I should just stuck with the first 3 volumes until I actually try to read it. But that's just not who I am. I am a hot mess, and there's no stopping me. Next, I got volumes 4 through 8 of Windbreaker. Speaking of a hot mess, this, again, like I said in my last haul video. This gives me like slice of life Yu Yu Hakusho vibes. Take out the supernaturalness and this is Yu Yu Hakusho. Those are the kind of vibes I get. And those are the kind of vibes I want. Because like I said, Yu Yu Hakusho is my favorite anime. So I have high hopes for this, but I'm going to go in with it with zero expectations. Because I know from experience that going in with any kind of expectation is how you hate something. Next, I have Blue Period volumes 14 and 15. This series is eye candy for me. I love art, and the fact that this manga series revolves around art and art school and stuff like that, I love that. I will say the only time I've ever hated art being used as like I don't want to say a character's personality trait, but sometimes it feels like that if it's not done right. And it felt like in the Dreamer trilogy by Maggie Stiefvater, it felt like the character trait for Hennessy and Jordan and Declan a few times was just art. And I hated it. I was so tired of the art in that series. I was like, I am getting bored. And I started skimming through a lot of the stuff and outright skipping a lot of stuff that where it was just talking about art again and again and again. And it was talking about the same stuff too. It was bringing really nothing new to the table. It was just rehashing about the same art pieces and the same like brushstrokes. And it's like, I don't care. As someone who's studied art, as someone who does a lot of art herself, I do not care. So I'm really hoping, like, I want to love this series. That's why I have bought the first 15 volumes without reading volume 1. Or I've read parts of volume 1. I haven't finished volume 1. Because I wanted to, like, just get the rest of the series and, you know, love it in all its glory. I'm really hoping that this lets me love and enjoy the art and teaches me things that I didn't know. I say the fact that it's going to be in a visual format instead of a written format is going to help it immensely. Next, I have the Volume 1 Omnibus of Bleach. This has volumes 1 through 3 in it. I bought this just because it was like $9 or something, like for 3 volumes of Bleach. I wanted to also get the first omnibus for One Piece, but that was sold out, and it's still sold out, so I don't think I'll be getting that anytime soon. I do love Bleach. I stopped watching Bleach after the Soul Society arc, which was probably a good thing, but it was more or less, the reason I stopped watching it is because I was watching it as it was airing and there was just too much going on for me to be able to stay up with it. I think the only animes I was able to actually stay with, like, almost to the end. Dragon Ball Z, I'm pretty sure I watched all of it while it was airing on TV. After that, I think Inuyasha, I watched all but the final season because at that point, that was airing at like 6 o'clock in the morning, and there's only so many times I can wake up at 6 a.m. while also going to high school. It was like, no, talking to friends until midnight and then having to wake up like 5 hours later to watch this anime is not going to work. So yeah, most of the animes that I was watching as they aired growing up, I just never finished. And sadly, Bleach was one of them. I really did enjoy this series. This was a really good series, and can't wait to read the manga for it. Next, I have I Cannot Reach You, volumes 7 and 8. These are beautiful covers. So, so beautiful. I actually didn't know there was a volume 8. I just knew that volume 7 was sold out, and I needed to wait until it came back into stock. And by the time I noticed it came back into stock, there was a volume 8. So, I don't know how long this series is. Hopefully not too much longer. I think that's another yaoi series, but like the younger audience. Next, I have Demons of the Shadow Realm, and this is by the same author as Fullmetal Alchemist. And from what I understand, it's twins born into this village. One of them is caged like an animal, and the other one is, I guess, free to do things around the village, but they're basically human sacrifices or something? I can't really remember, because every time I read this summary, I'm like, twins, one's locked up, the other one is like free to roam around, and I think the one twin dies or gets murdered, used as a sacrifice or something, and it's like, that's just from the summary. And I'm like, I don't I don't think I want to know any more about this. But the fact I've read Full Metal Alchemist, watched Full Metal Alchemist, both the original and Brotherhood. I love them all. So I was like, why wouldn't I pick up at least the first 2 volumes of this? I think right now the first 5 are out, and I don't know how long of a series it's going to be. Next, I have Can't Stop Cursing You, volumes 1 and 2. I got these mainly because I love the covers, but this is also about a detective who tracks down murderers who uses curses to kill people. And that just sounded fascinating to me, especially since I love mysteries. So I had to get it. Next, I got Fire Force Omnibus Volume 8, and this bad boy, there's nothing, I don't know where I was taking that sentence. I like Fire Force. Too much fan service, but I want to know what's going on with the brothers. Something going on with those brothers, and I just want to know what. The next book I got is Kagurabachi Volume 1. I was lucky enough to snag this before they went out of stock. And this is about a boy whose father, who is a blacksmith, forges these special swords, and it helps them win a war. And then once his father takes the swords back, someone comes and kills his father and takes the swords, and he ends up going out for revenge using the last sword him and his father made. So it's all about his journey to collect back his father's swords while getting vengeance on the people who killed him. So that just sounded so freaking cool. And I think there's only 2. No, volume 2 is on pre-order right now. So I was like, I can actually like read this series as it's coming out maybe. It's probably not going to happen. But you know what? If it doesn't happen, it's on me, because I have plenty of time in between each volume. Last but not least, I have volumes 4, 7, and 8 of Sword Art Online Progressive. I don't know how long this series is going to be. I don't think we're out of Ironclad yet, which is, that's something else, isn't it? We're not even out of Ironclad. And I'm going to be completely honest, I want to get to Alicization so bad, because that was my favorite. My heart was broken. No, I'm not going to go into that because I don't know how many people have seen it or watched it. I just recently watched it this year, so I don't want to spoil anything for anybody. Especially since, if you guys don't want to watch Sword Art Online just because, you know, a lot of people bag on it a lot, there's a lot of stuff that is ridiculous, especially if you are a gamer. There's a lot of stuff in there you're just not going to agree with and not going to like. That's kind of why I'm physically buying these volumes instead of getting them from the library, because I want to annotate the crap out of them, because there's so many things that I just want to fight this author with. I don't know if he's ever played anything besides maybe a JRPG, because games don't work the way he thinks they work, or he is built for them to work. It's not a thing, and it actually goes backwards into the evolution of games. So I don't see why, if he knew games are like how they are today, that he would go backwards with it. So I'm just going to assume that he doesn't know what the hell he's talking about when it comes to games and the way they function. And that is all. I actually got through this a lot faster than I was expecting. And I don't think there's anything I want to reiterate or talk about. That's all of the volumes. I have no shelf space. I bought 2 special shelves for manga, and then I have these little tiny shelves, and I bought like 10 of them that are wrapped around my room kind of, and all of them are full. What am I going to do? Oh, something I can share with you guys. I meant to do it in the last video, but I kind of forgot until now. Again, I don't have room for this stuff either. But I got this tote full of anime stuff. We went to a flea market in Tennessee, and there's this one like when you go into Sevierville, it's one right as you get off on the exit to go to Sevierville. There is a flea market that used to have just one anime store. Now it has like 3, which is very nice. Let me just figure out how to get this on. There we go. That kind of twist locks. So I bought some figures. And before we get into this, I have not seen Evangelion in years. I originally watched this series when I was like 7 years old. So don't ask me to have a conversation about it because I just can't. Because I remember nothing. And I only ever watched the original series and never watched the movies. How do I get this in? Okay. I love this. This was only $30. And Evangelion figures, especially good ones, that look good are, which you can tell that looks good by the face. They're just so impossible to find. I have this too. This vendor was Japanese, which was amazing. But I got this Kurama figure. I'm not going to take it out of the box just yet because right now it doesn't have dust on it, collecting on it. From that same vendor, he ended up giving me a free mug because it was a promotional deal they were doing. There's a little crack in it, but I don't know if that's supposed to be made like that or what, because I don't mind it. It's just L from Death Note. I could have got Hunter x Hunter or Demon Slayer, but I have enough Demon Slayer stuff, and I haven't watched Hunter x Hunter yet, and I really liked this. It even has the Death Note stuff written on the back, so I was very happy about that. This, I have to figure out how to hang this or something, but this is so cool. It's fabric. The thing is printed on is fabric inside, and he said I'm the only one that's ever asked about a pricing on this, so he just like gave it to me for $5. I was like, I wouldn't have paid more than $5 for it, definitely, but I love that. And this is like one of my favorite pictures of these two. So I don't know where I'm putting that yet. Last but not least, I think, yeah, I have this giant Zenitsu. This was the biggest one I found at this entire place, and this was $30 as well. But I was like, it's so comfy, and I love it. And I don't care what people say, I love Zenitsu. Zenitsu, maybe not best boy, but he's definitely a good boy, and I love him so much. Alright, that's the official end of all of this. I'm gonna go try to figure out how to put all this on my shelf. What am I doing? Bye, guys.